Greetings, my brothers and sisters. House of Israel, daughters of Zion. Just wanted to have a quick discussion, a talk. There's a lot of things going on in the world. So much to deal with. So many messages. Got the media. You're just bombarded in the mind. So am I. We got a lot to deal with. We got life to deal with. We live in a country, I would say we live in a world where it's dangerous. It's dangerous. Especially if you're black. The color of our skin has always been strike three. Out the gate. We have been born into a system, born into a world full of hate, despair, stress, anxiety. We was born into a world where we were not allowed to live, but only survive. Now, some of our people, had a little bit more well off than most, and that's minority. And there's a lot of our people that had it the worst, and that's a great number of our people. We seen the conditions of our people here in this country. We seen it. It's not like you can deny it. But see, that's the problem. That has always been the problem. Just want to forget. Don't want to face reality. Don't want to face black. I don't like using that word. Or face Negro. I don't like using that word either. But we gotta face it. When you take those two words, and you trace those words through history, oh, you gotta face it. You gotta face it. But see, we've gotten to the point where we no longer want to face it. We want to just go throughout our day. We think that gotta work a job, gotta figure out how to eat, gotta figure out how to keep the lights on, keep bills paid. Yes, we gotta do those things. We definitely gotta do those things. But in order for us to rise up as a people, as a nation of people, we have to face those two words. And those two words has history associated with it. Oh yes, it is attached to a grim, dark history. See, history is key. Because if you forget your history, you're doomed to repeat it, is what they say, right? And if you keep doing something over and over and over and expecting a new result, that will make you insane, right? See, we ain't got time for playing games. We ain't got time to ignore and stick our head into the sand. Why do you think that they put so much effort and energy and resources, manpower, into ensuring that your history remains whitewashed? Wait. So let me get this straight. There is no longer any credibility in the Bible because they tampered with it. There is no longer any credibility in your history. Why? Because they whitewashed it, because they touched it. Pay attention. Pay attention. It has 100% full credibility. That is the reason why they touched it. Come on now. It is facts. Undeniable. 100% proof. Full credibility. Solidarity through and through. That's why they touched it. Because it was a history that was not theirs to begin with. It was a way of life, a custom, a beautiful custom that was not theirs. And out of jealousy and hatred of you, because of who you are, they whitewashed it. They tampered with it. They played with it. They hid it. They stole it. And interjected themselves into it. And over the years, over the millennium, as time went on, it's not what seed you plant, it's when you plant it and where you plant that seed. And they planted a lot of seeds. They sown a lot of rotten, dilapidated seeds as much as they could throughout our history. And as those seeds began to grow, person after person, year after year, generation after generation, well, those seeds had to eventually turn into trees. Then it becomes psychologically embedded in our subconscious mind that what we think is false is actually true. This is mental warfare. How do you start mental warfare where you break down the woman and then she would teach her children and then the children would teach their children and henceforth and thereforth and so on and so on. Until now we have children today in the year of 2021 that don't know who Malcolm X is or who is Dr. Martin Luther King. They don't even know who they are. Never heard of them before. When you say Black Panther, they think of the movie Black Panther. They're not even aware that the original Black Panthers was brought together by Huey P. Newton. The only Dr. Martin Luther King that they're aware of is the street sign on the corner. When you mention Malcolm X, that sounds like a Nike shoe. Where can I cop those? And then you got the Bible, our holy scriptures, our holy texts, constantly being downtrodden. We have lost trust. Reason why we have reason why we have lost trust is because the dominant people that had access to the book was your churches. Your churches is a descendant of the Roman Catholic Empire, the Roman Empire. The the Christianity. The whole monotheism. Where they ensured that the people will always teach a white Jesus, that they will always pray to a cross, a crucifix. The scriptures tells us that his people will worship false gods and false images, wood and stone. What is the cross made out of? Wood, ain't it? It's in all the altars. It's above all the altars hanging on the wall. Praying to false images. Reason why the scriptures are locked, reason why the scriptures are not open unto you, is because it is missing a piece. Listen to me now. The scriptures is missing a piece. And I'm not talking about a particular piece of text. No, 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 no. I'm talking about you being the piece that's missing. So you have to plug yourself into the scriptures. You are that missing piece. When you begin to know who you are and see yourself in the scriptures, then that's when the scriptures open up to you and talk to you. It talks about you. See, we value all the wrong things in this world. Everything man-made, we want it. We want it. It's the lust of the eyes. We don't value the things to come. We have no value. We have no value of the things that was done before us. Reason why we don't have any value on that is because we never knew. They took that information from us. They switched everything. Case in point, who built the pyramids? Who built them? Who built the pyramids? Some will say the Egyptians built them. Some will say the Anunnaki built them. Some will say the giants built them. Some will say the aliens built them. Wrong, 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 and wrong. You built those pyramids. The Negro black man and black woman. The Negroes built the pyramids. And whatever else ancient monument on the face of this earth. And it would not be too far of a stretch to say whatever else monument that was built on Mars and the moon. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh no, 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 no. The Negro, he ain't got that capability. He's only good enough to play basketball and go to jail for the rest of his life. That's all he's ever good for, picking cotton and cutting down sugar cane. No, 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 no. The Negro, he ain't capable of doing such things. Our people, nope, nope, that doesn't exist. It was white people who did that, because they build tall buildings anyway. Yeah, that would make better sense. See how you think? See how you think? Oh no, no, no! It wasn't Negroes. Those was them Arabs. See, they got the tallest building in the world over there. No, 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 no. Those was them Asians people, cause they're smart. They say they're smarter than black people. Yeah, they're smart. It's a whole lot more of them than it is of us. Anyway, it's a couple billion of them. See how you think? We ain't capable. How can the people, the most hated, despised, downtrodden people on the face of this earth, be hated that much if we were not the people who did these things? Why would they take out so much energy and use up so much resources and manpower to make sure you don't know that? The mathematical equation don't lie. You are who you are. You are the chosen seed of the house of Israel, the Negro. It's proven. It's proven. See, but when it comes from a brother like me, it doesn't sit well. It doesn't have the impact when it comes from hearing it from your own people. But the numbers don't lie. The numbers don't lie. And when I mean by numbers, I'm talking about mathematical equations. And by which I mean mathematical equations, I'm talking about the constellation of the stars. See, the constellation of the stars witness about you. The constellations of the stars has a testimony of you. Why do you think that they put up all of these telescopes around the world? Why do you think that they're paying attention to the stars? Because they got the information from us. They got the text from us to tell them to look up. Because why? The stars tell our history to the letter. They've been doing so this entire time. The stars don't lie. The stars don't lie. Everything in here is referring to the Negro man. Everything in this book is referring to the Negro man according to the constellations of the stars. See, the stars is a mathematical equation. When you do math, when you calculate the stars and geometrics and geometry and stuff like that, you can't screw that up. You can't screw that up. You can't screw it up. It doesn't lie. Numbers don't lie. Numbers don't lie. The constellation of the stars, the story of the stars, what it talks about the Negro. But you wouldn't believe it. Want to know why you wouldn't believe it? It's because that is a concept of education that was not passed down to you. That is the reason why you won't believe it. See, they gave you 2 + 2 = 4. They gave you 4 divided by 2 equals 2. They gave you 2 times 2 equals 4. They gave you a calculator. And when you did good, they give you an A or B and pat you on the head and send you on your way so you can continue to struggle in life. They gave you their school system. They taught you what they wanted you to know. And lied to you and told you that your history only extends as far back as slavery, picking cotton, that your history don't go no further than that. You came from Africa and you was brought over here as slaves and you picked cotton and they hung your ass from a tree by a rope around your neck. That's the extent of your history. Negative. Negative. When we go back past the 1400s and beyond into the BCs and the ADs, then that's when you start to realize that, somebody on the face of this earth was the greatest nation that ever walked the planet. The richest civilization under the sun. But because we fell so low, everything up here withered. Withered away. And now we're down here at the bottom. And only way is up. Is up, baby. But you gotta look up. Look up. Don't be complacent down here. Woe is me. Let me show you something. This is going to prove who we are.
It's only by the grace of God that any of these people will reach their as yet unknown destinations alive. Or maybe it's his will that they don't. So, Lieutenant, why are you venturing into those forsaken regions?
What do you know about a man named Shaka?
Does that answer your question, Lieutenant? The Masani tribe, Umulus, Lubis, Unus, Yunguanis, countless others, the banished of Southeast Africa, fleeing Shaka's spears, going straight into the arms of the white slave traders and the British troops on the borders of the Cape Colony. In a way, Lieutenant, they are the ultimate victims of recent history. If you'll favour my comparison, they are the wandering Jews of Africa. Fleeing the Pharaoh Shaka, they are the wandering Jews of Africa. Fleeing the Pharaoh Shaka, they are the wandering Jews of Africa. Fleeing the Pharaoh Shaka into the Babylonian captivity of slavery.
See that? Wandering Jews. Wandering Jews. It tells you right there. See, they have these things in these television shows. When I was a young kid, when I was living with my dad, I was much younger. My dad used to watch Shaka Zulu all the time. And I would sit there. We had a floor model television. I'm dating myself. I had a floor model television, right? And Dad would sit, he would lay on the couch. I would sit on the floor and watch Shaka Zulu. And I watched that segment. I remember watching that part of the show. And it did never enter into my mind what that white man was talking about. It never crossed my mind. It just like the scriptures say, that the people will not consider. The people will not consider. because it wasn't time to. This was the early 80s. I was young. It wasn't time to. The prophecies, the prophecies of the Negro man and the Negro woman, the prophecy of us remembering ourselves and coming into remembrance and turning our face back unto our Elohim, and the Elohim turning his face back towards his people. That's happening. That's happening all over the world. Because why? The scriptures tells us that the Most High has scattered his people the four corners of the world. Our people are everywhere. We're all over the place. And brothers and sisters all over the world are starting to wake up to this truth. That we're not just black, we're not just African American or African Scandinavian or African Hungarian or African Sweden or African German or African Australian. We are not these names. We are not these bywords. These nicknames that they have given us. They are bywords. The word byword is in the scriptures. The scriptures tells us that we will be known as bywords, slang, derogatory terms. We will be known as them. But it also tells us that in the last days that information will increase, where the people will begin to bethink themselves. Bethink themselves. What it means? Rethink, relearn who they are. Everybody knows this except you. You are a descendant of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. You are the chosen seed of the house of Israel. And you have a rich kingdom set aside for you. Since the beginning of time, it was destined for you to be here and to come here and then go back here. That's what Yahushua did. That's what the only begotten Son did. If you pay attention to the scriptures, he was up here. He was born into the world. He was brought low. He went through the fiery furnace. Yes, the Messiah went through the fiery furnace as well. He was persecuted. He was downtrodden. He was treated like a slave. He had all kinds of atrocities done unto him. He was called the devil. Called him a thief, called him a blasphemer. They ridiculed him, laughed in his face, spit in his face, threw rocks at him, made him carry this big, huge tree on his back for miles. And then once he carried it and got it up there, they nailed him to it. And then mocked him even more. And because he wasn't dying fast enough, or because the Negro wasn't dying fast enough, they stabbed him in the side with a spear. Because he wasn't dying fast enough. They put crowns of thorns on his head. And then they mocked him even further. They put a sign above his head that says, "The King of the Jews." If you be the king, deliver yourself down from there. He had to go through the fiery furnace as well. He was at the top. He came into the world. He was brought down low. He died. Before he died, he had to suffer. Then he rose. He rose back up to the top. Why? So that we can rise up back to the top. So he can be that token, that atonement for the sins of our fathers and for our sins, because we sinned too. But because we was born into this world, he had to be that token for us. He had to be that token for us because we are the new next, the youngest generation of Israel. And we are dying out here. We're dying out here. All because why? We lack knowledge and understanding. The scriptures tells us that. He said, my people are destroyed due to lack of knowledge and understanding. Because we don't know who we are. We don't know where we come from. We don't know how to practice in our ways. We don't know how to practice in our customs. So what do we naturally do? We adhere to the customs that are readily available to us, that's around us. Hip-hop culture, the media culture, the robotics culture, education culture, the porn culture, the video game culture. Every culture that you could think of, we delved into, we partaked in. The religion cultures. I was I was raised in church, and when I was in the army, I tried being a Muslim. It didn't work because it didn't sit well in the spirit. It didn't resonate. It didn't resonate. Some people it resonate with because people they just let go and just go. And they just do it. But it didn't resonate with me. It didn't feel right. I never felt comfortable in this world. I never felt comfortable. I felt something ain't right. Always had this suspicion. Something just not right. Everywhere I went, I felt out of place. Even when I was going to clubs and hanging out with my friends, I felt out of place. I felt like I didn't belong here. What the heck am I doing? But I thought that was what everybody else was doing, so I was doing it. It was what else do we have? We don't know nothing about no Passover. We don't know nothing about the Feast of Unleavened Bread, the Passover, the Feast of Unleavened Bread. These are the cultures and the days and the holidays of the house of Israel. The Sabbath days. You know nothing about that. We still don't as a people. We are scattered all over the earth. You want to see progress amongst the black man and the black woman? You want to see progress. You want to really see progress and advancement of the Negro man and the Negro woman. You truly want to see progress. You truly want to see us rise up and overcome. You really want to see that? You want to know what that looks like? Study honeybees. Study honeybees. until we become like honeybees. When that happens, then we will produce the greatest nectar on the face of the earth. Honey was considered the nectar of the gods because of its many, many, many healing properties. Highly valued. It was at some point that honey was more valuable than gold and silver and precious stones. Didn't the Most High say that he prepared a place for us that's flowing with milk and honey? Oh man. Milk and honey. Consider the honeybee. When we become a hive mind, one focus, one people, one faith, one Elohim, will become the greatest nation this world has ever seen. And they know it. You don't know it. They know it. That's why they do everything in their power to hide it from you. And you concur. Because it's easier to do so than to face black, Negro, and the history associated with it. And what happens is it leads you back to what? Israel. I want you to chew on that.